We all know that gardening can be used as a form of therapy. It's called horticulture therapy, and that is what I use my garden for, and learning how to manage my anger as well as learning better coping skills and life skills. So in this video, I'm going to show you guys my mistakes with my garden that had to do intertwining with mental health, because yeah, that's an issue for all of us, right? Let's go. What's going on, my plant peoples? I am the ADHD gardener, where I use gardening, houseplants, and humor as a form of mental health therapy. And speaking of mental health therapy, if you're struggling and you have a garden, there's some things that may kind of go wrong. That's the whole point of my channel, is to learn how to improve on gardening while also learning how to improve myself, my coping skills, and all that other mental stuff. So one of the problems, which is leading to problem number 5, I'm going to work my way down to the number 1, but number 5 is time management. When to plant your plants, when is a good time, when is not a good time, when are you going to have time to actually go work on your stuff. You're either going to be planting things too early, too late, or you did plant them at the right time, but you didn't take care of them because you didn't have time or fit in time to go outside and work on your garden. Yeah, that is me. My time management was very, very, very off. Freddie! My time management was off, yo, for real. It was really bad. I mean, it was doing really good in the starting, but I planted the brassicas too late. That kind of didn't work out, but in the end it did, because I started popping up cauliflower, which was like 3 months later, but it still worked out. So I guess that wasn't a mistake. Time management haunts me. It really does, because I really think I got my together, but it only lasts for like about a week. And then I fall off, I slip off, and then my garden suffers. What needs to come first? What needs to come last? What is more a priority than, stuff like that you really need to work on. It's stupid hard. You see Chippy back there? Before we continue, I just want to let you know I'm on other social media platforms. You can catch me on Facebook and Instagram, also the ADHDgardener.com, and yes, I'm on a Patreon. Let's chill together. Now back to the video. Problem number 4 that I'm having is losing stuff. Losing everything. Losing my labels, losing my pens, losing the tape, losing the seeds, losing soil, losing fertilizer. I mean, I lose everything. And I have multiples of stuff. I have multiple scissors, multiple labels, multiple everything, and I still lose them. This is the table where I'm supposed to be putting all of my stuff after I'm using it. Here. I'm always losing gloves. I'm surprised there's a pair right here. Losing pens. Boop, there it is. But you know what happens? I lose it. Still, I lose it. This is the part where you're trying to learn about a life skill, okay? Because when it comes to losing stuff, yeah, you can lose it in the garden, but you can also lose your stuff in your personal life, your finances, your bills, your passwords. That is why I'm always carrying my keys around my neck, because I don't lose my freaking keys. The number 1 thing I lose the most is my scissors. My pliers, my snips, whatever you want to call them, I lose them all the freaking time. Now, it just so happens that I have one right here, which is a mystery and a surprise, because I forgot that I left it here. I left it here. You see how this could be so frustrating? This is highly frustrating, and this is something that I deal with literally multiple times a day. Put your stuff in the same place. Maybe you won't lose them. Write a little thing or something to make sure that you know that it's there. Blah, 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 blah. It doesn't, it helps, but I can't. What do you want? I am not a neurotypical. It's hard for me to keep my stuff in one space. So if anyone has tips for me on how to not lose something, please let me know down in the comments below, so I don't also lose my mind in the process. Problem number 3, 2, and 1 are actually all kind of like intertwined and related. So number 3, problem, mistake, blah, 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 is overwhelming feeling or an anxiety feeling. Because if you've ever felt anxiety, yo, that can be kind of like crippling or paralyzing in a way. Same thing with the overwhelming feeling, because they kind of go hand in hand. Now, if you have any mental health issues, ADHD, bipolar, anger, blah, 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 whatever it is, then it always comes with anxiety. Now, when it comes to overwhelmingness in the garden, is maybe you planted too much stuff, or maybe, you couldn't have the time to get to your plants, and then you wind up having an infestation, which leads to massive overwhelming and massive anxiety, because you know what? Hey, your plants are getting eaten up like crazy. I think I just went way too much. I went way too overboard. I was way too excited. And it just took over, and then I couldn't handle it. It became overwhelming to me. And then when you have the overwhelming feeling, then it turns into anxiety, which are kind of hand in hand. And then you feel like a failure. Then you feel like a rotten person. You feel like you're a terrible gardener, but you're not. You just have to learn, which I'm still learning, how to handle the amount that I'm able to handle, if that makes sense. Now, problem number 2 is procrastination. Now, that could be a symptom of another issue, like an underlying mental health issue. For example, I procrastinate a lot, right? Yes, I know, but that, it is an ADHD problem, right? That we have procrastination. We feel like we have more time, less time, time management. Hello, they're all intertwined. But another reason why you could be procrastinating in your garden is because you're depressed. Now, when you're depressed, you don't do or enjoy the things that you normally love. Now, my number one thing that I love is my garden. Now, if I know that I'm procrastinating on doing stuff outside, it's because I don't mentally feel well. I just don't feel up for working on it. I keep thinking to myself, why bother? Why am I doing all this? This is just a waste of time. I don't want to go out there. And that's what procrastination in my form comes out of. And as a result of my procrastination, I let a lot of my plants die. I neglected a lot of my plants. If you see my crack heat, I let that one go. I also let my tomatoes go and let the fungus just kind of go wild. I stopped caring about it. Yes, I'm sad that I let my garden go. Yes, I'm sad that I procrastinated on all my stuff, but we can't let it get to us. We can't quit our personal life, so why quit our garden? All we do is acknowledge the fact that we're having a rough time, okay? And then what we do is we have to do some self-care. And if that means getting away from the garden and doing some personal self-care things, whichever what you do your meditation, your spirituality thing, I have my faith, bring ourselves back, reset, and then get back in that garden, because we can't keep running away from stuff, right? Whew, my biggest plant problem that I've had the entire time, which is impulsiveness. I am so impulsive. You guys, I am like super impulsive. If I get a really good idea, or if my dad gets a really good idea, forget about it. I want to run with it that very same day. I want to buy all the materials. I want to set it up, and I want to get it started, and then it doesn't work out. How many times I've bought stuff and it's the wrong item? It's the wrong thing, which means I wasted money. I have to rebuy stuff, go to the stores and return them, listen to a bunch of lectures from my boyfriend and from my dad for not researching enough. Another thing that has to do with the impulsiveness is not thinking stuff through. For example, this area right here that you see behind me, this was potatoes, but also I was hanging some like sunflowers right over here, okay? Oh my God, I wanted so many sunflowers. I was so excited to plant them everywhere in my garden, not realizing, not paying attention, and not really properly paying attention to the sun patterns. A lot of my sunflowers were blocking the sun, of which I already have a bunch of trees blocking my sun, because I really just wanted to do it right then and there, and that's what happened, and I screwed it all up. This whole section of containers right here, this was purely impulsive. I did not mean to do any of that, but you wanna know how this worked out? Dad called me up, super excited himself. He's saying, oh my gosh, you need to go to this flea market. They got a lot of containers on sale for like $2 a piece. And I said, what? I want a boatload of containers too. And of course I went there and I bought a boatload of them without really thinking about what am I gonna do with it? Do I have the soil to put in it? And what am I gonna plant in it? And do I even have enough time to make that happen? I did not. I did not have any of that. I did not have the time. I did not have the physical labor, and I did not have the soil to make it all happen. So what I did was I just like cut corners just to make it happen, and I called it an experiment, and a lot of it failed. Some of it did work out, but a lot of it failed. Now, if I properly planned it, if I really thought about it through, or maybe just did not rush the whole process, I could have just kept the containers for next year where I had more planning and whatnot, then it probably would have worked out. This is hard, but this is the whole point of it being therapy, because not only are we gonna be growing tomatoes, we're gonna be growing ourselves. And it sucks, bro, because sometimes I just wanna give up. Sometimes I just wanna give up and say, you know what, screw this, screw my garden, screw everything, trying to be a better version of myself. That shit. That's not how you grow as a person. That's not how you learn how to manage your emotions. And that's not how you navigate life. So we just give ourselves one of those days where we don't want to do squat. Some days you just don't want to do anything. But the difference is you got to get up the next day and start working on yourself again. And that's what we have to do. It sucks, I know, but it's what we got to do. Right, Chips? I hope you enjoyed this video and you really got some good information out of it. I know these were my mistakes, but they could be someone else's mistakes. And I'm not afraid to show you what real gardeners and real people have to struggle with in their garden. I mean, shit is real. You know what I'm saying? Not everything is peaches and cream and all roses and sunshine. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't work out that way. If you did enjoy this video and you want to show me some love and Chip some love, then don't forget to smash that like button. I really appreciate it. Also, if you haven't already, then consider subscribing. I drop a long and a short video every week. Also, you can find me on Facebook and Instagram. I'm on there all the time, the ADHD Gardener. The Patreon is now up and running, so we can chat there. Until the next episode, you guys, where you and me both can grow our happiness one plant at a time, one day at a time. I'll catch y'all later. Peace and love. Right, love? Bye, Chippy love. Chippy love. You did not let me film alone today at all. Why? Why? Give me the paw. Yeah!